Should the Chicago Bulls trade for Zion Williamson? Let's talk about this, people. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports. I'm back at it with another video talking some NBA here to talk about the Chicago Bulls. So if you're a Bulls fan, man, and you're trying to hang in there just like I am, do appreciate the support. If you would subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. It is going to be an interesting offseason. A lot to talk about as far as the direction of this team. I went on a rant after that play-in loss to the Miami Heat. If you want to go check that out, you can in my recent videos. But yeah, so today I want to talk about a report in which it was also sort of brought up as a rumor or an idea. But the report was, hey, the Pelicans are hiring a new head of basketball operations in Joe Dumars. And he has been instructed to trade Zion Williamson this summer. Okay, that was like the report. And then Zach Lowe, NBA writer, great NBA writer for The Ringer now, previously worked at ESPN, he brought up the idea on his podcast, hey, should the Bulls trade for Zion? And then it got me thinking, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So let's talk about this. So why am I talking about this for a guy who doesn't play games? I mean, he played 30 games last season, rarely ever stays healthy. What's the deal? So let me preface my comments by saying this. If this was a normal regime, right, with the Bulls front office where they were logical and sound and actually smart, I would not be entertaining this. But because we have a lousy, inept, incompetent regime with Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley, I have to give this some thought. And my thought is this. Zion Williamson signed a 5-year, $197 million deal. He's got 3 more years left on that deal at $39, $42, and $45 million per year. Now, those numbers obviously do look high, but keep in mind, Zion is still only 24 years old. So by the end of the contract, he will only be 27. So you're still getting, hopefully, a healthy and prime, maybe not on the healthy part because we never know if he's healthy, but certainly a prime Zion Williamson, right? NBA players usually stay in the prime around that age bracket. And so he'll still only be 27. And this past season, when he did play, I know it was only 30 games, but when he did play, he was incredible. 25 points per game, 7.2 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.2 steals, and a block a game, shooting 56% from the field. Now, not a three-point shooter, only shot 23%, but there's a reason for that. He's a bowling ball. He doesn't need to shoot threes. He can't get anybody to stop him from getting to the basket when he wants to. And so that is what makes Zion special. So you take all of that into account and you ask the question, hey, should the Bulls entertain this? And remember, I mentioned I wouldn't do it if we had a competent front office. But I just know this front office, this regime will never bottom out. They will never, ever try to actually land a generational player in the draft because they'll never be good enough to do so because we're just going to be in the play-in every single season. That's just what it's going to be. They don't care. They're just worried about their pockets and having fans in the seats. The attendance, being number one every year, is their version of winning. So if that is the case, and I know they're never going to bottom out, then what's the best way to go ahead and improve by getting a star? You trade for one. You trade for one. And Zion Williamson, when healthy, is a star. And the thing with Zion that separates him from the players on the Bulls currently, in a Kobe White, and a Josh Giddey, and right now a Matas Buzelis, though I'm very high on Buzelis, but right here, right now, Zion Williamson, I believe, has the at least chance to be the best player on a title team. Chance to, not definitively, but at worst, a second best. So, like, you see that, hey, you can try to build a team around Zion and experiment with that. All right? The talent is there to do it. He is extremely talented, so you can try to build a team around Zion Williamson, and that is where I think the Bulls should take a shot here. See what the asking price is. Now, if the asking price starts at 3, 4, 5 first-round picks, Matas Buzelis, and all your young assets, sorry, I'm hanging up the phone. But if the asking price is much more realistic, which is 2 first-round picks, not including Matas, give us expiring contracts, and maybe just a decent young player, okay, cool. Obviously, you got to make the salaries match, so you're going to have Nikola Vucevic in the deal. He's going to be an expiring contract, $21 million. Patrick Williams would love to get him off, so if you want P. Will, take him, but I think at this point it's going to cost us a first-round pick to unload that contract. He signed for 5 years, $90 million. Great job, AK. And then maybe Alonzo Ball, right, who signed an extension for 2 years, $20 million. That more than meets the salary matching there. So you just throw in a player with Zion, and then boom, that's what the trade would look like, right? So like I said, the 2 firsts that you're giving up, folks, we're always picking at the teens, right? I'm very happy we landed Matas this past season, but it's not going to be the case every year, every offseason. You're not going to find a Nikola Jokic in the second round. That never happens. It's a dime and a dozen, folks. So, like, the way you get your generational stars, your Anthony Edwards, your Cade Cunninghams, your Paolo Bancheros, is you pick at the top of the draft. That's what happened. So, to me, I'm definitely trying to entertain this. What is the asking price for Zion? If it's reasonable, I might take a shot. And then at that point, you have a core. Again, I'm not giving up Matas, by the way. You have a core of Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Zion, and Matas building around Zion. And then you go ahead and you acquire a defensive-minded center, get Vooch out of here. Maybe you got something there. I don't know. It's something. It's better than what the heck we're doing right now. So to me, I'm not trading Matas Buzelis. Giddey and Kobe. Giddey's going to be a free agent, so you have to sign him to an extension. At that point, you can't trade him right away. And the Kobe White, I believe they're not going to trade him either. So to me, it's going to have to be pick heavy as far as the trade compensation. And I think New Orleans is probably okay with that. So to me, I'd entertain it. Let me know what you guys think. Would you or would you not? Leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.